Hi everyone, I'm Samako Henry, representing Go3. I'll be showing you how we came up with a complete loan amortization system in Excel VBA for Shema Women SACCO. It automates the entire loan application and repayment process, from login to repayment schedule generation. Before, officers used paper forms and calculators. Our goal was to make everything automatic inside Excel using VBA. Our system was divided into three main parts, that is, login authentication, loan entry and calculations, and automatic repayment schedule generation. Let's start with the login form. When the workbook opens, users must enter a username and password. In this case, the correct username is BBC and the password is 2025. However, when the user puts in a long username, that's a BBA, and a long password and tries to log in, the system is designed to deny them access to the loan entry form by telling them that the username or the password is invalid, so the access is denied. However, if they put in the right username BBC and the right password, the system will grant them access, taking them to the loan entry form where there'll be text to put in the details. For example, their member ID, the username, the member name, the loan amount, when you click submit, the system, when you click submit, the system will automatically create for you your payment schedule under your names. How did we come up with this? First, we designed our login form. We are going to put a label and a text box, label and text box, and here, most importantly, you have to name the text box, giving it a name. Each text box, because you are going to use it while you are coding to refer them back. In the coding, first, we are going to declare our variables, attaching them to the data type. In this case, we have two variables, that is the user and the password, and we're going to attach them to a string as our data type. After that, we are going to assign those variables to a particular text box. That's why naming the text box was important. Then we are going to use a conditional check. Here we are going to say if and only if the username is BBC and the password is 225, then a pop-up message will come up notifying the user that login has been successful and access will be granted. Then the loan entry form will appear, will be open, and the previous form, that's the login form, to be closed. However, that's the else part. If the username is on BBC and the password is not 225, then the user will be notified that invalid username or password, so access will be denied. Then everything will be deleted and the user will be required to start afresh. Additionally, we had to name our user form as Shema login, and we are going to position it in the middle of Excel. That's what this means. After that, we design our loan entry form attaching it, doing it as before. Label text box, and putting a button at the end. Inside, we did as we did in the login form. First, we are going to declare all the variables we are going to use, attaching them to a data type. Basically, here we did, since multiple variables can be attached to one data type, so we said to group them to one data type. Then we went to the validation. Here the user is required to fill in all the fields. If the fields are left empty, then the system won't continue. And also, the loan amount, the interest, and the maths field must be numeric. If the user puts in a letter, then the system also won't continue. As before, we assign the variables to the text boxes, which we created in the form, user form. Then this means basically we are going to convert this text box into a number for easy calculations, and our interest part is going to be divided out of 100 to make it a percentage, and out of 12 to make it monthly, if in case we are given to annual interest. So we are going to divide it by 12 to make it annual. Then we are going to calculate our monthly payment using PMT. PMT is in an inbuilt workbook Excel formula function. So we are going to just call it out, and we are going to add a negative. Since the results are given back in negative, we are going to add a negative to make it positive. After that, we are going to create a worksheet. After that, we're going to create a worksheet, and we're going to name it loan application. So this worksheet, mainly it puts in the information you're filled in the loan entry, puts it aside, and helps you to calculate for you the monthly payment. In the worksheet, we are going to put headers. Here we use this formula where the first row is a loop. The first header is going to be member ID. After that, you're going to go to the next row, number 2. You're going to put the member name. Then you go to the next row, number 3. You're going to put in the loan amount. After that, we're going to go to the basic need for this whole system to calculate our schedule, the payment schedule, how we are going to do our schedule. First, we are going to tell the system that every time a new member comes in, you're going to create a separate worksheet for him. We are going to put loan, and we are going to add it to the name they have given in the entry form. So we are going to also put headers, as we did before. We are going to put headers to that form, to the new form created. We are going to put those headers, the monthly interest and principal. We are going to do the same. The first one you're going to put month, then the next one interest part, then until. So here, to calculate for the interest part, that's when you're going to also call out the IPMT, which is also an inbuilt function. Also the principal, we are going to also call out the PMT, which is an which is also an inbuilt function in the worksheet. And we're going to add negatives, as I told you earlier, so that a result comes out positive. After that, after all that's done, after the person filling in the form, the system will clear the form for another input. So that's how we came up with this. Basically, when someone puts in another details, and let's call him Evans, and the loan amount 3 million. The interest rate, which I told you is going to be annual, and the maths, it will come up with this. Thank you for listening.